Okay, where were we? New Jersey hunting and trapping. We've already started this book. We didn't get too far into it. I got all worked up about a few subjects, and we really didn't make much progress on reading the book. So I'm going to try and figure out where we left off and continue the story. What do I need to hunt deer in New Jersey? Just in case you thought one hunting license would be good enough for this, no, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 licenses, and that's not to mention all the extra permits attached, because they divided the state up into different zones and you buy a permit for each zone. Okay. No one can carry a gun in the woods on Sunday. What? Okay. We've gone over this, but I'll recap. I am a hunting fanatic. Sometimes I don't have to work on Sunday. Most of the time I do. But let's recap. Most people have 2 days off a week, Saturday and Sunday, as I understand it. So if you are a hunting fanatic like I am, but you have to work 5 days a week, you get Saturday and Sunday off, now you can only hunt one of those days. But let's just change that. There's lots of people that work 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and they get Sunday off. Now, if you're a hunting fanatic and you have one of these jobs, I guess you just can't hunt. You just have to take all your vacation days or call your boss and lie and say you're sick if you'd like to go hunting ever in your life until you retire or die. How do the people that wrote this book not realize that that's absurd? What is that for? What is the meaning of that? Is that because of God? Is that because Sunday is supposed to be God's day? What if you're Jewish and God's day is Saturday? What if you belong to the Durrt church and every day's God's day? Then what, I can't carry a gun any day? You're kidding. God doesn't like guns? Wait, God likes guns, but only 6 days a week? Christians that go to church on Sunday might hear a gunshot, and that's not good? You're kidding. I live near a military base. They blow shit up all day on Sunday. God doesn't seem to mind that. They're practicing for war. They want to go shoot some brown people and blow brown people up on the other side of the world for things they don't even know why they're doing it. They just want to do it. It's a hobby. My house fucking shakes all day Saturday. The churches are definitely shaking. No one seems to mind. I've never even heard anybody complain except myself, and I don't really ever complain about anything. You've got to be kidding me. You work 6 days a week. You get 1 day off, and all you want to do is go out in the woods and focus on nature and try and catch yourself a deer. Don't think about it. You're breaking the law. No hunting on Sunday. That's disgusting. Oh, the emerald ash borer, yeah. Watch out for ash trees. Just in case you didn't know, hunters, some ash trees are dead, and you might not want to put your tree stand in a dead tree. Thank you so much for enlightening me on putting my tree stand in a dead tree. I had no idea all of the trees around me have leaves, but this one doesn't, but it's in the right spot, so I'm just gonna put my tree stand up there. I'm gonna go all the way to the top. I just wanna go all the way up there, put my tree stand in that tree, the one without leaves, because a deer's not gonna see me in that only bare tree in the forest. Yep, that's the one I wanna go in. The one you scratch a little bark off and the branch just falls off the top. That's my tree. I'm gonna put my tree stand in the dead tree. When's the last time someone put a tree stand in a dead tree and the wind blew and the tree fell over and he died? Maybe that happened today. I don't know. If it did, his whole family is just sitting around at the funeral going, I can't believe he lived this long. We just thought this was going to happen when he was a teenager. He's been doing dumb shit like this his whole life. Absolutely amazing. And then somebody else goes to the funeral with the book like, guys, you should have read this. Don't put your tree stand in a dead tree. If he only read this 300-page book, he would have known. Just read the book front to back. You would have known things like, don't put your tree stand in a dead tree. Thank you, wildlife management people.
What are you reading?
I'm reading a book.
I see your light.
You see my light? Oh, you got a stick? Let's pull that off. Throw that over there. What are you doing? Are you hanging out having a good time? Are you walking around outside?
Got oil on your shoe.
You got oil? I think it's water. You got water on your shoe? Woodchuck season. Would you ever believe they made a season for groundhogs? You're kidding. An entire paragraph devoted to groundhog restrictions? This should be the groundhog hunting rules. If you see a groundhog, you should be able to shoot it as long as it's safe and you don't hurt anybody and it's not someone's pet. This is just too much. Mandatory harvest report and tag requirements. Oh boy. Must immediately tag your deer before you go hunting. Okay. Make sure you have a shotgun. Make sure it doesn't hold too many shells. Okay, they frown upon that. All right. That's easy enough so far. A little bit tricky. Sometimes you're cleaning your gun, you forget to put the pencil back in, and now all of a sudden your gun holds 5 shells instead of 3. I don't know why 3's the magic number. I guess because I don't know. I don't have an answer. No one has an answer. I'm allowed to kill 3 deer at once. Okay, I can kill 1 antlered buck and 2 does. I can shoot as many does as I want. I can shoot 2,000 does with my hunting license this year. But I can only shoot 2 at a time. Okay, and then we add my 1 buck in for my per season. So let's say I'm in the woods and I've been hunting for a month and chasing deer and standing on good spots on drives and sitting in my tree stand, sitting on a corn pile, and for whatever reason, luck's just not in my favor. Maybe I'm not good at hunting, but for whatever reason, every time a deer gets close to me, I spook it. It runs away. I take off and run. And I'm running out of luck. Okay, here I am now in the lucky spot. 1 buck and 2 does come right to me. Okay, well, let's say more come. Finally, I've had some luck. Can I now try and see how lucky I can be and how much skill I have at taking these deer down? Do I have to stop? Why do I have to stop? Oh, only 2 at a time. Okay. So I shoot my buck and I shoot my 2 does. Now I'm out of shells. My gun's empty. That was it. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm only allowed to have 3 shells in my gun. But that big buck, the big old buck, which I dropped in a pile, and I was now focused on the other 2 does because I saw him drop in a pile, but he's gained his adrenaline kicked in. He's an old deer. He didn't get old by being a sissy. These things, he got hit with the shot, and he fell over. And he's gonna die, but he's mustered up enough strength to stand up, and now he's taking off across the field. And I'm empty. My gun's empty. Because I'm only allowed to hold 3 shells. Isn't that unsportsmanlike? How does that make any sense? If I have a gun that could hold 5 shells, possibly the manufacturer made it that way, most do, why can't I utilize that for my own benefit and for the better benefit of humanity? Because, well, we all know deer are tough, and in New Jersey we shoot deer with shotguns, so unless you're shooting slugs sitting in a field, you're in the brush, you're in the woods, you want to shoot buckshot. So a lot of times buckshot doesn't work quite as good as we'd like it to. The pellets spread out, and half of them go into a tree or who knows what, and you might be lucky to get a couple of pellets in the right spot sometimes, unfortunately. And sometimes, you hit him in the liver, and well, there he goes. And you need to now reload, because to follow all these rules, you can only have 3 shells. Okay, I suppose that makes plenty of sense. 3 shells only. Now, before you hunt, verify that you have the correct year's license. Okay, easy enough. Make sure your license says the right year. And proper valid zone permit. Well, this is where it gets a little bit trickier, because they have taken the state, and it's not the biggest state in the country. It's a medium-sized state, and they've drawn lines all over it. We're going to find the picture. Here's a picture of my state. This is where I live, and each one of these different black sections, colored sections here, is a different zone. And it's that way for a reason, because they decided that these are the lines, okay. And when someone decides those are the lines, then they look at what's inside the lines. Well, in these purple zones, they've decided you can't shoot that many deer. But in the red zones, those are red hot. Especially up here, there's too many people. And usually when you've got too many people, you also get too many deer. Because deer are very good thieves. They like the comfortability of being in those urban areas. They get right in there. Okay, red areas, too many deer. Pink areas, too many deer. Yellow areas, too many deer. Shouldn't that all be one zone? No, they had to, because there's other things going on, they had to section it off separately. But if I would like to leave my house in number 17 and hunt all the places around me, just look at all these different zones I'm going to go in. Now, every time I crossed one of those lines, not only do I have to follow another set of regulations, that's one thing. I also have to give them another $27 each time. Oh, would you like to shoot a buck also? Another $27. Another $40, $52. $52.50, I believe. 27 and 27 is 54. Another $54 each time I cross one of those lines. Wow, thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, make sure you've got the proper permits. Okay, got it. This is essential, both to report your harvest and to comply with the law. We've all read these signs. Obey the law. Buckle up, it's the law. Okay, we get it. We got it. Got the memo. Use the deer hunting location viewer. Oh boy, you can figure out, oh! So you go on your phone and your phone's gonna show you where you're at. They know where you're at. Okay, very good. Right, I'm gonna download your app so that you know where I am. Just in case I don't know where I am, you know where I am. Yeah, okay. Write down all this information and keep it accessible while in the field. Right, because I told you, the most important thing you need to take hunting with you is not a gun or a bow or a knife. It's not your boots. It's not your jacket and your orange hat. It's a pen. The most important thing to take on a hunt in New Jersey is a pen. If you don't have that pen, they will get one, and they will poke you right in your eyeballs with it, or your other balls. Now, in the field. Upon retrieval, the deer is considered to be in your possession. The hunter must immediately fill out the harvest report that is part of your license or permit. What if my deer has its head up and it's looking around? Dying, yes, but looking around. Sometimes this happens. It's not the best feeling in the world. I've got a knife, yes. I would like to finish the job that I started as quickly as possible and as neatly as possible, or as bloody as possible, doesn't matter. I started a job. I have taken this crazy invention, this gun that flings lead balls across the air faster than the speed of sound. I've knocked down this beautiful, magical, majestical animal. and I've taken its life, but it hasn't yet finished. And I would like to, as cleanly as possible, with as much decency as I can have as a carnivore, finish this animal off. No other animal, by the way, does that. No other carnivore cares. An eagle will eat your butthole while you scream and cry, and it will not care. But I would like to finish the job properly. But don't do that! First, before you grab that deer by his ear and finish him off, you need to get your pen out and get your report card and fill it out properly. Get your phone out. Make sure you know exactly where you are on the map. Document everything. What's the date? Now I need to call my wife and find out what the date is. I don't know. I stopped knowing that the day I left high school or elementary school. I don't know what date it is. I have no idea. Someone will tell me when it's Thanksgiving or Christmas. Thanksgiving, I won't even know the date because that one changes every year. I know Halloween. If it's Halloween, or if Halloween's in 3 days, I know it might be the 29th of October. And if Christmas is in a week, it's probably the 18th of December, but I'm not sure. How can I be possibly sure that someone is exactly sure when they said it's a week away? I don't know the date. Now, while I'm doing all of this, what if my deer stumbles away? Am I a good hunter because I was so concerned with my report card, my location, the proper date, the sex of a deer? How am I supposed to know the sex of a deer until I lift his leg up? I might know this sort of thing, but what if I did? What if I didn't properly fill out the report card and I lifted the deer's leg up to see if it had balls or not, and now I'm in possession of the deer, but I didn't properly fill out the tag? How am I supposed to do this properly? I don't know. No one's ever explained this. The person that wrote this law has never actually hunted. The person that wrote this law is just someone with a suit and a tie sitting in a desk collecting stolen money for absolutely no good reason other than to justify a position and make it seem like they're doing something to confirm Teddy Roosevelt's dream for the hunter. How does this make any sense? Okay, here's another theory. All of this stupid laws that I'm reporting on, I'm going over. I'm not even reading to you the ones that make sense. Do bag limits make sense? Yes, I think they do. In some cases, I can shoot 5 squirrels a day. Well, what if I go squirrel hunting every day? I could shoot 100 squirrels very quickly, but only 5 a day. The hawk doesn't have a bag limit, and it's hard to find a place where there's not too many squirrels. They're everywhere. The hawk hunts all day, every day. He doesn't have a bag limit. But yet I have a bag limit. Bag limits on certain things make sense because we don't want anything to go extinct or disappear. I'd like to take my kids hunting one day and see lots of squirrels and turkeys and deer and all sorts of things. So maybe these laws that make very little sense are designed that way so that game wardens who have an issue with you can pick on you. Is that how this works? Is this a rigged game? Is that how it was designed intentionally? To be able to pick on people at choosing? We don't like you. So let's open up the book and we'll find a couple of things you didn't do right. You didn't fill out your report card right. By the way, I'm on the first paragraph of this report card nonsense. There is 5, 6 paragraphs.